Dedication. To everyone who believes that freedom and privacy are fundamental rights, even in the digital age. This guide is for those who want to navigate the online world with confidence and security, protecting the most precious thing they have, their privacy. Acknowledgements. I thank all the experts, activists, and developers who work tirelessly to protect digital privacy in an increasingly challenging landscape. Your work inspires and enables the development of strategies that help everyone stay safe and anonymous online. I also thank readers who care about their right to privacy and make a difference by protecting themselves and sharing this knowledge. Preface. The digital era has brought countless innovations that simplify and enrich our daily lives, but along with them, threats to our privacy and autonomy have also emerged. In a world where data is valuable, personal information has become a currency of exchange, and is often exploited by companies and governments without our consent. This book was born out of the need to empower people to protect themselves against digital surveillance and artificial intelligence technologies that seek to predict and manipulate our behavior. I hope that each strategy and tool presented here will allow you to navigate the digital environment safely and independently, regaining control over your own privacy. Index. Chapter 1, Introduction to Digital Surveillance and Artificial Intelligence. Chapter 2, How AI Trackers Work and Their Risks. Chapter 3, Tools and Strategies for Anonymous Browsing and Privacy. Chapter 4, Protecting Your Personal Information on Social Media and Devices. Chapter 5, Secure Communication and Tracker Defense. Conclusion, The Future of Privacy in the Digital Age. Chapter 1, Introduction to Digital Surveillance and Artificial Intelligence. The current landscape of digital surveillance. Nowadays, we live in a world where almost everything we do online is being watched in some way. When we browse the internet, use social networks, or even shop online, our personal data is constantly collected. Companies and governments use advanced technologies to monitor what we are doing, how we are buying, or even what we are talking about. This can be useful in some cases, such as showing personalized ads, but it also poses many risks to our privacy. Digital surveillance is a reality, and it is increasingly present in our lives. How artificial intelligence is transforming online surveillance. Artificial intelligence, AI, plays a key role in the surveillance. It is programmed to analyze large amounts of data quickly, something that would be impossible for a human being to do. For example, when you search for something on Google or social media, AI collects that information and uses it to predict your interests. It can even suggest what you should buy or where to travel, based on your online behavior. However, AI can also be used to create detailed profiles of each person, looking at what they do online, their preferences, and even their location. This makes it much easier to identify patterns in your behavior and can be used to manipulate or sell your data. Why protecting your privacy is essential. Protecting your privacy online has never been more important. When our personal data is collected and used without our permission, we risk being exposed to fraud, scams, and even cybercrime. Furthermore, lack of privacy can affect our freedom, as we may be being monitored without knowing it. We often don't realize how exposed we are until something happens. That's why it's essential to understand how to protect your information so that you have more control over your digital life and prevent your data from being misused. Chapter 2. How AI Trackers Work and Their Risks. The role of algorithms and trackers in data collection. In our digital lives, we are constantly leaving traces, often without even realizing it. When you browse the internet, make an online purchase, search for something on Google, or even interact on social media, your actions are being observed by systems called trackers or algorithms. These trackers are computer programs that collect information about you, your preferences, browsing habits, and more. Algorithms are used by technology companies like Google, Facebook, and Amazon to understand your interests and behaviors. For example, when you search for a product on Google, the algorithm records that search to show you ads for similar products later. They also analyze how you interact with websites, such as how long you spend on a page, what you click on, and how far you scroll. This data helps create a digital behavior profile, which is used to offer more targeted content, such as ads and shopping suggestions. However, data collection doesn't just happen while you're in the browser. Trackers can be hidden on websites you visit and even in apps you use. Many of these trackers have the ability to follow your movements online, even when you are no longer on the website you visited. Additionally, some trackers can even access information from your device, such as geographic location or contacts stored on your phone. How algorithms work. The way algorithms collect and analyze data is very complex. First, the algorithms observe your behavior and begin to identify patterns. They notice, for example, that you often buy technology products or that you always search for action movies. This data is then analyzed by AI systems that create a detailed profile about you, often without you even knowing. These algorithms also make use of other people's data. When you interact with others on social media, your data may be shared, whether through likes, comments, or shares. This is used to better understand how you fit into different groups and what your interests are. The dangers of AI-created behavioral profiles. Behavioral profiling is one of the biggest risks associated with data collection. When you interact with websites or social media, AI trackers are creating a profile about you, which can include everything from your shopping preferences to your political beliefs and daily habits. While this is useful for personalizing your online experience, it can also be a big risk. 3. Loss of privacy. The main problem is the loss of privacy. Most people have no idea how much of their data is being collected and how it can be used. Even without knowing it, you are being constantly monitored. And what's worse, your data can be sold to other companies that can use this information to manipulate your choices. For example, a company can use your data to create targeted marketing campaigns targeting your pain points or insecurities. Opinion manipulation. Another risk is the manipulation of opinions. We know that social networks are powerful in shaping ideas and opinions. By understanding your interests and preferences, algorithms can show you specific information that influences your decisions. For example, they may prioritize certain types of news or posts for you to see and interact with, while hiding others. This can affect your worldview without you realizing it, creating a filter bubble where you only see what confirms your beliefs. Risks to freedom of choice. Based on your behavioral profile, AI can also predict what you will do next, and this can be used against you. For example, if the system understands that you tend to buy something every time you see an ad, it will continue showing that type of ad until you give in and make the purchase. This is a subtle but powerful form of manipulation that affects freedom of choice. How information is used against you. The information we collect about you can be used in ways you might not imagine, and not always with good intentions. Here are some examples of how this can happen. Advertising and consumer manipulation. One of the most common ways data is used against you is in advertising. Marketing companies use your information to target ads to you. They know what you like, what you need, and what you want, and they use that information to sell you products or services. Oftentimes, these ads aren't just for products you need, but for ones they think you'll buy based on your past behavior. This creates a cycle of constant consumption, making you spend more than you actually need to. Discrimination and inequality. Another dangerous way that data is used is through discrimination. For example, if algorithms identify that you are a person who often searches for health information, they may direct you to offers of expensive health plans or even questionable products. In other cases, insurance companies and banks may use your online behavior history to decide whether you are a good person to hire or grant a loan to, which can be a form of discrimination. 3. Stalking and security risk. Additionally, the data can be used by criminals or malicious organizations. Behavioral profiles can be sold on the black market, and this information can be used to commit scams or fraud. For example, criminals can use information about your browsing and shopping habits to create personalized phishing scams, making you believe you are receiving a legitimate offer or an important alert from the bank, when in fact it is an attempt to steal your personal information. Personal data exposure and identity theft. With the amount of personal data circulating online, identity theft becomes a real threat. If someone has access to information about you, such as your shopping habits, browsing history, and even your social preferences, it is easy for this person to create a fake profile and use it to make purchases or commit crimes in your name. The consequences can be devastating, from financial damage to your reputation. How to protect yourself from risks. Now that we understand the dangers involved, it's crucial to know how to protect yourself. There are several simple steps you can take to protect your privacy and personal data. Use VPNs. A VPN, virtual private network, helps protect your data by encrypting your internet connection and making your browsing anonymous. Disable ad tracking. In the privacy settings of many social networks and browsers, you can disable the ad tracking option. Limit sharing of personal information. Be selective about sharing your data online. Avoid providing unnecessary personal information on website forums. Use privacy-focused browsers. There are browsers that do not collect your browsing data, such as Tor, which can help protect your identity. Monitor your accounts. Keep an eye on your bank and credit accounts to detect suspicious activity and prevent identity theft. Digital surveillance is an increasingly present reality in our daily lives, and AI algorithms play a fundamental role in the collection and use of our personal data. While technology brings many conveniences, it also poses significant risks to our privacy and security. Understanding how trackers work and how our information is used against us is essential to protecting ourselves in the digital age. By taking proactive steps to protect our data and privacy, we can ensure that in the future we will be able to browse the internet in a safer and more controlled manner. Chapter 3. tools and strategies for anonymous browsing and privacy. In this chapter, we'll explore the best tools and strategies you can use to ensure your online privacy. In a world where your information can be collected with every click, it is crucial to know and use technologies that protect your data and identities. We'll cover the main methods of anonymous browsing, such as VPNs, Tor, privacy-focused browsers, and search tools that don't track your activities. VPNs and Tor, softening your track on the web. What are VPNs and why you need them? A VPN, virtual private network, is an essential tool to ensure your privacy on the internet. It creates a secure connection between your device and the internet, encrypting your data and masking your real IP address. This means your browsing is hidden, making it harder for anyone, be it a hacker or a company, to track your online activity. When using a VPN, your connection goes through an intermediary server, which replaces your original IP address with a new one, usually located in another country. This helps to trick websites and services that try to identify your geographic location, allowing you to access region-blocked content and avoid censorship. How to choose a good VPN. Security and encryption. Choose a VPN that uses strong encryption protocols, such as AES-256, to protect your data. No logs policy. The VPN must ensure that it does not store logs of your online activity, so that your personal information is not recorded and handed over to third parties. Speed and reliability. Make sure the VPN doesn't negatively affect your browsing speed and is reliable when connecting to servers. Tor, advanced anonymous browsing. Tor is an even more advanced tool when it comes to protecting your privacy online. Tor, which stands for the Onion Router, is a software that redirects your internet connection through a series of nodes, servers, distributed around the world, making it virtually impossible to track your location and identity. How Tor works. Layers of encryption. Tor encrypts your connection in multiple layers, like the layers of an onion. Each node you pass through removes a layer of encryption until you reach the final destination, where the last layer is removed and your request is delivered. Total anonymity. Since data is encrypted at multiple layers and passes through multiple servers, it becomes extremely difficult to track where you are connecting from. When to use Tor. Tor is ideal for those looking for a higher level of privacy than a VPN can offer. Using Tor can be slower than a VPN as data passes through multiple nodes. Therefore, it is best suited for situations where privacy is more important than speed. Privacy-focused browsers. Protection beyond firewalls. Traditional browsers like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Safari may be convenient, but they collect a lot of data about you as you browse. Therefore, it is worth considering browsers whose main objective is to protect your privacy. Browsers like Brave and Firefox focus. Brave is a browser designed to block ads, trackers, and other forms of data collection without the need for additional extensions. It also offers faster browsing as it eliminates bandwidth hogging ads. 3. Additionally, Brave is a cryptocurrency-based reward system, allowing you to get rewarded for viewing specific ads that you choose. Firefox Focus is another privacy browser that automatically eliminates trackers, making browsing safer. It also deletes your browsing history as soon as you close the app, ensuring that no information is stored. Plus, it effectively blocks ads and trackers. Advantages of privacy-focused browsers. Tracker and ad blocking. These browsers help protect your privacy by preventing websites from collecting data about your activities. Improved browsing speed. Since ads and trackers are blocked, your browsing may become faster. More control over your privacy. When using browsers like Brave or Firefox Focus, you have more control over the information you share while browsing. Search alternatives and trackless tools. Most search engines, such as Google, collect data about your searches and use this information to display targeted ads for marketing purposes. However, there are alternatives that respect your privacy and do not store your search information. DuckDuckGo, the private search engine. DuckDuckGo is a search engine that doesn't track your searches. Unlike Google, DuckDuckGo doesn't build a profile about you or collect information for advertising purposes. It also doesn't retain your search history, offering a more private way to search for information on the internet. Why choose DuckDuckGo? Privacy guaranteed. It does not collect or share any personal information about you. No personalized results. Search results are not influenced by your browsing history or personal data, which can be seen as an advantage for those looking for more neutral and unbiased results. Security. DuckDuckGo also has a strong security policy and encrypts its connections to prevent your data from being intercepted. Startpage. Private search with Google results. Startpage offers a way to search Google without being tracked. It connects to Google, but strips out any personal information that could be used to identify you. When you use Startpage, you get the same search results as Google, but without being tracked. Why choose Startpage? Track free Google results. You still have access to Google search results, but without your personal information being collected. Security. Startpage also encrypts your searches, ensuring that your data cannot be intercepted. Other privacy tools. In addition to browsers and search engines, there are other tools you can use to improve your online privacy. Some of these include proxies. A proxy acts as an intermediary between you and the websites you visit, hiding your real IP address. Browser extensions. Some extensions, like Privacy Badger and HTTPS Everywhere, help block trackers and force secure connections. Anonymous browsing and protecting your online privacy are more important than ever. Tools like VPNs, Tor, privacy-focused browsers, and track-free search engines are essential to ensuring your online presence is not monitored or manipulated. By using these technologies, you can browse with more freedom and security, knowing that your personal data is protected against collection and misuse. Now you have the tools to cover your web tracks and keep your identity and activities safe. The key to safe and private browsing is choosing the right tools, staying informed about threats to your privacy, and taking a careful approach to browsing the internet. Chapter 4. Protecting your personal information on social media and devices. Digital privacy is one of the biggest challenges in modern life. Our social networks and devices have become a reflection of who we are, and often, without realizing it, we give away precious data that can be used for a variety of purposes, not always ethical. This chapter presents practical strategies for protecting your personal information, whether on social media or on devices, and discusses how to defend yourself against technological threats such as deepfakes and facial recognition. How to control data exposure on social media. Social networks, although useful for connecting people, are one of the main sources of personal data collection. Each like, share, or comment can contribute to building a detailed profile about you. To control the exposure of your data, start by reviewing your privacy settings. Make sure only authorized people can see your posts and information. Avoid sharing sensitive data, such as your real-time location, personal documents, or financial information. The habit of tagging your location, for example, may seem harmless at first glance, but it offers valuable clues about your habits, routines, and even vulnerabilities. Another important tip is to limit the number of applications that have access to your social networks. Many ask for unnecessary permissions, such as access to your contact list or private messages. Review these permissions regularly and revoke any that you consider excessive. Also, get into the habit of thinking twice before posting something. Ask yourself, could this information be used against me or my privacy? Personal data protection on smartphones. Smartphones have become a true personal data vault. Photos, conversations, passwords, and even banking information are stored on these devices. To ensure that this information doesn't fall into the wrong hands, a few simple measures can make all the difference. First of all, always use a strong password to lock your phone. Ideally, it should be a combination of numbers, letters, and special characters. Additionally, enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, for important applications. Avoid connecting to insecure public Wi-Fi networks, as they can be a channel for attacks. If you can't do this, use a VPN to encrypt your connection and protect your data. Another important point is to review the permissions granted to the applications installed on the device. Many apps request access to cameras, microphones, and files without it being necessary. Remove these permissions to increase your security. Finally, keep your smartphone's operating system up to date. Frequent updates include security fixes that protect your device from known vulnerabilities. Defense against deepfakes and facial recognition. Technologies like deepfakes and facial recognition are becoming increasingly sophisticated and popular. Deepfakes can be used to manipulate videos and audio in almost imperceptible ways, while facial recognition can compromise your privacy in public spaces and even online. To protect yourself from deepfakes, avoid posting high-quality videos and audio on social media or the internet. The more original content you have, the easier it will be to create fakes. In the case of facial recognition, minimize the use of applications or platforms that require this technology for login. Prefer alternative authentication methods, such as strong passwords or digital biometrics, fingerprints. It is also essential to be careful with camera permissions on devices. Make sure that only trusted apps have access to it. Finally, use specific tools to protect against deepfakes and facial recognition. There are applications and software that block or hinder the use of your image by these technologies. Protecting your personal information on social media and devices is an ongoing but essential task in the digital world. Small actions, such as adjusting privacy settings and restricting access, can prevent big problems and ensure you have greater control over your digital life. 3. Chapter 5. Secure communication and defense against trackers. In the age of hyperconnectivity, protecting our digital communications and avoiding online tracking has become an essential necessity. Surveillance technologies evolve quickly, but there are effective strategies to protect and shield our privacy. This chapter covers practical methods for keeping communications secure, minimizing behavioral profiling, and staying ahead of modern tracking tools. In the age of hyperconnectivity, protecting our digital communications and avoiding online tracking has become an essential necessity. Surveillance technologies evolve quickly, but there are effective strategies to protect and shield our privacy. This chapter covers practical methods for keeping communications secure, minimizing behavioral profiling, and staying ahead of modern tracking tools. Strategies for secure emails and private messaging. Many people are unaware that emails and messages sent through popular apps can be easily monitored, whether by companies, hackers, or even governments. Using privacy-first email services like Protonmail or Tutanota is a crucial initial step. These services offer end-to-end encryption, ensuring that only the sender and recipient can access the content of messages. And messaging apps prioritize those that offer advanced encryption, such as Signal and Telegram in secret chat mode. WhatsApp also has end-to-end encryption, but it's owned by a company that collects massive amounts of user data, so it's a good idea to be mindful of the permissions you grant. Other practices include: avoid sending sensitive information via email or text message. If necessary, use password-protected encrypted files. Two-factor authentication, 2FA, enable this extra layer of security on your accounts. Even if someone discovers your password, access is still protected. Beware of unknown links. Do not click on links received from unknown senders. They may contain malware or lead to phishing sites. Minimization of behavioral profiles. Behavioral profiles are created from digital traces we leave when browsing, sending messages, watching videos, or interacting on social media. These profiles are used to predict our interests, influence our decisions, or, in extreme cases, manipulate opinions. To minimize this risk, some strategies include: 3. Tracking blockers. Extensions like uBlock, Origin, and Privacy Badger prevent websites from tracking your activities while you browse. Privacy settings. Check and adjust your app and browser settings to limit data sharing. Use of anonymizing tools. Browsing with VPNs and browsers like Brave or Tor significantly reduces the collection of behavioral data. Another effective approach is to limit unnecessary interactions with apps that collect excessive data, such as social networks or services that request invasive permissions on your smartphone. Staying one step ahead of surveillance technologies every day. New surveillance technologies are created, including artificial intelligence algorithms capable of analyzing behavior patterns, predicting actions, and even identifying faces in large crowds. To be one step ahead, you need to adopt a proactive stance. Constantly updated devices, outdated operating systems, and applications are more vulnerable to attacks. Avoid public Wi-Fi. Open networks are easy places for hackers to intercept your communications. Use your own connection or a reliable VPN. Be wary of excessive permissions. Many apps ask for access to cameras, microphones, and contacts, even when they are not necessary. Read the permissions before accepting them. Staying informed about cybersecurity trends is another vital aspect. Reliable sources, such as blogs and news outlets, can alert you to vulnerabilities and how to fix them. In addition, it is important to develop safe habits and periodically review your privacy settings. By combining these strategies with the right tools, you'll not only be reducing your exposure, but also ensuring that your communications and data are protected. Privacy is a right, but maintaining it requires ongoing action and active vigilance.